Right, guys, welcome back. This is Above Average FPL. My name is Adam. How's everyone doing? Baker, you're here as well, as always. How are you doing, mate? You right?
As always. I'm good, mate. I'm good. Happy birthday.
Thanks, mate. Thank you very much. It's been an eventful birthday, and not eventful in the way that I really wanted it to be, but yeah, eventful all the same. I've enjoyed cake, but just to be honest, because Friday night wasn't much fun. Daughter had norovirus earlier on in the week, and I caught it. And Friday night it hit me hard, so I was in bed at about 8 o'clock, and yeah, completely screwed me. So that was a fantastic start. Had to cancel birthday dinner and stuff like that. So and couldn't go out. Haven't been out for like 2 days. And yeah, spent all today trying to sort out the PC, which isn't sorted, but managed to rely on a backup. So thankfully on the wife's laptop, which is whirring away. It's working hard, but we're here. We're live. We made it happen. I was a bit worried we weren't going to be able to, but we made it happen. So, oh yeah, and Tottenham lost. Yeah, thanks.
Oh,
Cheers,
yeah,
boys.
Tottenham lost as well.
Cheers, boys. Thanks for rubbing it
And
in.
red arrows? Red
Oh,
arrows?
massive red arrows. Like, we'll talk about that.
Yes.
We'll talk about that because I literally would have been better getting sick before I'd made all my transfers and then not done anything. Like, literally, like, terribly. How was your weekend?
Yeah, Tottenham still lost. And yeah. And on a red arrow. So same. You know, I'm pleased that I played and kept Shaw. I have to thank Mr. Late Riser for that one. Is I was very much looking at City. Then I heard him on the wire say about it could be a good game for Shaw. Then we did the pod, didn't we, Thursday night, and I started then looking at Aki, Akanji, and the like, and I was like, I just can't justify it. Just couldn't justify getting them in. Fully get it. What you did. You wanted to get getting Shaw out for an Arsenal defender feels absolutely the right decision. And people that bench Shaw because they were playing City or Arsenal players again.
Yeah, same thing. It
Yeah,
felt right. It felt sensible. You know, it was like 2 fixtures versus 5, like, and money. So yeah, it definitely felt like the right move. Obviously, it's just backfired to hell, but yeah, that's FPL. So they say FPL guys there. That's FPL. So
not so fun was KDB versus Mahrez for us today.
no,
That was
well, I didn't have
not
anything.
fun.
I'd like basically Haaland and Saka, and that's it. Like,
Yeah,
having fun with De Gea benching him. What a prick.
it's been painful. Hence how comes we ended up saying, yeah, wildcard time. And I guess wildcard time. And when do we start thinking about wildcard? It might not be. I'm pretty sure it's not.
We're not hitting buttons today.
Wildcard. Nah, but I think we're starting to be a bit more open to it with the fixtures we've got.
Yeah, certainly you can certainly maneuver around the doubles and blanks and stuff in a way that much similar to last year, actually, when people were looking at like 26 wildcard. Same concept, right? 26 wildcard, free hit the blank and then work your way through the double. So you prepare yourself for the double and then the double, and then you find your way through the blank with a free hit potentially. But just something to think about there. But I've got our teams on screen, so we've both got Kepa, we've both got Trippier. Botman for me got booked late, bit annoying. And then I've just
could have gone, mate.
Well, it should have gone. Should have gone.
Yeah.
Should have gone. Ridiculous sliding challenge. And yeah, everything else is just a bit meh otherwise. But yeah, for anyone wondering, my transfers were sold Tony, who scored 9 points, sold Andreas, who scored 6 points, and sold Shaw, who scored 12 points for a -4. For Gabriel, I got 2 plus next game. Saka 6 plus next game, and Nonto, who was a money transfer more than anything. But
yeah,
wow, yeah,
that
sucks.
That's tough. And even Tony then obviously taking some Gabriel points. Tony, and we'll get to it about goals standing or not standing, and yeah. We're not going to preach. I know people like us at rest, but there's only so much you can talk about it. It's just bad.
I mean, I think the guys on Match of the Day did as much as they could about it. And they said, and Danny Murphy said it quite right. It's just like you're fed up of just chatting about VAR and and yesterday was a particularly bad day for it.
I wish they'd just changed the words. People have been brought up on the word consistency when it involves refs, right? And they, like when they asked Potter it, they said, consistency. I wish they'd just change it to competence.
Yeah.
I wish they would say it's not that we don't give a shit about consistency.
We just want them to get it right.
Consistency is pre-VAR, like that. We just want them to get it right.
Yeah.
That's the piece. And today, like, it's such amateur hour. That Man United Leeds game basically just took forever on every decision, even though it was blatantly obvious. Like, there was 2 late offsides for Man United, and it was like, oh, we better just go through this to the nth degree to make sure we're right. And it's like, come on, like if the commentators are already starting to call it and go, yeah, that's offside, it should be done.
Yeah.
If everyone is saying, yeah, that's offside, that's the bit that doesn't make a lot of sense. Is as soon as that, I am gone about now, but the Arsenal one, as soon as the Arsenal one happened, I was like, oh, they're going to go and check that for Norgard being offside. That's what I assumed they were going to go check it for Norgard offside, because he looked like he was offside. And it was like, oh, they're doing something on Pinnock.
Yeah. And the thing is, I get the Pinnock one. Like, you can't draw a line on Gabriel, so fine. If you want to push that one away, you can't draw a line on Gabriel because you don't know where his arm is, you don't know where his shoulder is.
Yeah.
Fine. But yeah, the Norgard one just makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Getting subjective calls wrong is just stupid. Like that's just not very good. Like the Soucek one and all those type of things. But getting the objective ones, getting ones where they draw lines, that's shouldn't be in the job.
No.
Like, because you can always, well, that's not my feeling on it. That's why.
Yeah,
the subjective ones you can at least stomach a little bit. I mean, I'm pretty sure
the Soucek one, the Soucek one's probably a little bit different to those that you see when you get like a foul given, right? You get a foul given and something like, oh, there's a bit of contact there and stuff like that. I think let's use both examples, and this was from a while ago, but let's use the Chelsea West Ham examples, because like the Bowen on Mendy is a subjective decision, and you go. Yeah. Okay, well, actually, we all know what the right decision is, but the subjective decision is there was a foul there, it was given. The Soucek handball one, for me, feels... Yes, of course, it is subjective because it's not definitive, but...
It's as close to pretty objective clear. He did save it.
He got down well. He got down for a big guy. Got down well. I wish Fraser Forster would get down that bloody quickly.
Yeah, I wish he did. I wish Edison. I bet you Edison owners would be thinking the same. He got down proper slowly for that Watkins goal.
Yeah.
But yeah, the saddest thing about your computer going down was I was absolutely adamant you were going to Photoshop Soucek's head onto Fabianski for when we got to that game. But
mate, we'd have done some stuff. But yeah,
we'd have done some stuff. But we are what we are. Yeah. Anyway, there's still a game midweek. Who knows what happens?
Yeah. So
anything could happen.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm down to about 400k as it stands at the moment. I'm about 14 points back from where I should be, roughly. And you're down to 90. Is that from like 80? Isn't it? You're just inside 80.
It's 72 to 90.
Yeah, so it's not too far off. And still some players to play.
You need luck as soon as you got hit nowadays.
Yeah, that's true.
You need some luck to go your way.
And in terms of the state of the game, I mean, we've spoken about, you mentioned it already, like, should be thinking about wildcard already. Here is the state of the game. So in terms of like the top 10k, obviously there's reasons why they're in there. Good picks plus chips. So there are guys in the top 10k, like, 500 people who have already played every chip. 1,500 people who have played 3 chips, and 2,600 people that have played 2 chips. But most of the game are just sitting on the 1, which is probably the triple captain, I would assume. Although I did have someone in one of my mini leagues play a bench boost against me this week, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, that's where we are right now. In terms of this week, it didn't surprise me too much actually to see that only 5 odd % used it.
Yep.
made sense with the Haaland thing. Actually, I think for all triple captain decisions, we've been kind of not. It's been kind of nice, actually. We haven't been. It hasn't been too punishing for those that haven't decided not to at all, which has been good.
Yeah, I mean, everyone captain Rashford, everyone captain Haaland, everyone captain Haaland. So it's still small wings,
So
I mean,
you just
they got
it's
to
all
feel
just
pretty
bragging
unlucky.
rights, isn't it? It's all just bragging rights at this point because I mean, on the field, no one's gained, no one's lost. Yeah. Well, no one's lost by not using their triple captain against the field. Not really.
No.
So,
but they're going to go, well, anyone who's done Haaland in 23 or 25 at the moment is in 23 or 19, 20 or 23 is going to feel pretty hard done by compared to the Rashford people. Yes. We'll take that. We move on.
Yeah.
We're good. But there's another game. Should we just do Man City Villa?
We're going to do Man City Villa. Hello to everyone in the chat. So we haven't got the wheel this week, unfortunately. Sorry about that, tech. But while we do Man City Villa, chuck in who you want to do next, and then we'll just move to that game. We'll just pick someone from like near the top of the chat when now that I've said it, and we will move to that game next. So, and you'll notice that the graphic is slightly different. We've had to move away from Opta. So Opta have decided we're only going to do select games each week. So fine. Off to Understat we go. And thanks to Understat for this. And so we've got...
They're more on brand anyway. Look at the colour schemes.
Beautiful, isn't it?
They're more on brand, mate.
Yeah.
I enjoy them.
Man City Villa.
Yeah.
How unlucky did we get? How unlucky do we think we got as KDB owners? Like, maybe not directly, but...
Do you ever feel unlucky as KDB? I don't feel unlucky. I feel something ridiculous needs to happen for him to score. There was a moment in the second half where he was out on the right. The game was about 1, and I went to myself, bang it. He was 20 yards out and 5 yards off the touchline. And I wanted him to shoot and try and lob the keeper on his line. And if that's the best it gets, you're like, that's probably not that good.
Yeah.
Like he's not worth his money. You're hoping for something magical. He's good, as a player. I'm sure Pep came in and said, "Yeah, good game today."
Yeah,
good game today, Kev. He did have a good game, but
not necessarily conducive to FPL points.
No. And when they accumulate, look at it, 3.6 XG. Didn't feel like he was in the game to score goals.
Yeah.
It's not an enjoyable thing.
What did you make of the defensive lineup? Because you sent that across to me, and I looked at that, and in the back of my mind, I always looked at I don't know, Rico Lewis, and I just knew he wasn't a good option. I mean, I think you can feel hard done by being Ake, Akanji, given the last few games, and he just reverts back to type with Diaz and Laporte. Do you think that's a reaction from the Spurs game specifically? Do you think it's trying to get them minutes prior to having to go to Arsenal that just says, we fucking mean business now and we need to win these next 2 games?
Well, they're not keeping cleans.
They're still not keeping cleans, no.
And he'll point to the fact that Diaz goes off and they don't keep cleans, but yeah, eventually he probably does have to trust. Laporte, Diaz, Stones are probably the people that and Walker are probably the people that he trusts the longest. It does feel like in certain games when they are going to dominate, the way he feels he can really strangle and accumulate the most amount of pressure is to go free at the back. Because why not? Because Rodri can always drop in.
Yeah.
So because he plays a left-sided centre back like Laporte or Ake, and then because you play, say, Walker, what you can do,
you got the ability to shift formation pretty easily.
You can split. Yeah, you can split it, and Rodri can drop in and become a 4.
Yeah.
And you're basically immediately going almost like 4-2-4.
Yeah.
But for the majority of the game, you've got 3 at the back, 2 in the middle, and then like 5 across the front. And fantastic. That's a good way to play. I do find it that whenever you're watching these on your Match of the Days or your Skies and that, they just can't get it. They want to just stick it into a normal formation. They're like, oh, City must be playing 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, or that's how teams must play. But loads of teams are doing this now. If you look at the way that Newcastle play, Dan Burn isn't really a left back, is he? He drops in and they become a 3 at the back.
Yeah.
For them, if you look at Arsenal, very similar. Zinchenko basically plays centre midfield on Saturday, and you're now seeing it. White just becomes that right-sided, a bit like Walker today. There's a lot of good teams doing it. Annoyingly, the teams that people don't associate with 3 at the back are doing 3 at the back really well. And then the teams like Tottenham, who are playing 3 at the back, do 3 at the back really badly. It's because to do 3 at the reason why teams do 3 at the back is so that they can really, really dominate and push people back into their own half and just keep battering away. Whereas Tottenham, what they're doing is playing a load of people at the back so they can play around at the back for ages and then go long. That stuff ain't working compared to the way that these guys are doing it.
Yeah.
So I think every easy game, and let's call it easy game because that's how Man City view it, is a game. Maybe you should use a better word than easy game. Do you say a game that we feel they should win? I think we're going to see this formation where they play the 3 at the back, play a lot more against Arsenal in the week. That'd be really interesting to see if they do that again. I think it'll be more of a 4. I think it'll be Ake. I don't think Lewis is going to play. I think those that have got Lewis are going to be sweating because I reckon a lot of them have got Shaw first sub.
Yeah,
so
almost certainly.
There's a lot of people that are there's a lot of us that our game week ranks could get a lot worse due to Shaw auto subs coming in. You'll suddenly see on live FPL your auto sub rank will suddenly be like,
Yep.
Because people are getting 12 points off the bench.
Yeah.
Not that big though. He's only about 8% owned. Lewis, not a huge number.
Yeah, but sure is.
Yeah, but only what I'm saying is that's already happened. The Shaw loss. There's only a maximum of 8% of people that could potentially get Shaw off their bench, and not everybody who's got Lewis definitely has Shaw.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but auto subs will hurt if Lewis doesn't play. Back to this game. Haaland's it's just unlucky if you triple captain this week.
Yeah,
it gets a blow on a collision with Emmy.
And then
we've seen it before, haven't we? Where players get a collision and then they don't really want to take the penalty.
Yeah, and then we've kind of had what we expected, I guess, to see is when City are commanding a game, is that Haaland gets rested, particularly with minutes, that he's going to need to be playing in the next few weeks, being critical. So will we see more of it, or is it just literally injury based? I know that Pep said after the game that he's hoping that he's going to be back for the Arsenal game. I mean, he'll be ready. Like at 100%, he'll be on that. He'll be first on that pitch.
But do you think his chances of playing Forest next week have gone down?
Probably. Yeah, probably.
I mean, next week's captaincy is a big decision.
Yeah,
because you've got Rashford against Leicester, but he's playing Barcelona on Thursday night in Barcelona.
Yeah.
And then you've got Haaland who's playing midweek. And then against Arsenal, where he'll definitely be needed. And then has Forest.
Yeah. Just before you get off there, can the guys in the chat, can you let us know how the stream is going? Because OBS seems to tell me that we've dropped like 30% of the frames, which is quite a lot. And it's not going too smoothly. But if the audio is nice and smooth, then at least that's good.
Cool. No one's mentioned.
Yeah, so. no one's mentioned it, but chat has been a bit quiet today, so I thought I'd just ask rather than people just disappearing. Where do we want to go to next? Nobody's actually asked where to go next. So,
Mahrez.
Do
you just think he's going to play every game though? I think he might be too important not to.
He might be now. So
I just think is I mean, those people that have got Mahrez, like we've taken pain, haven't got Mahrez, we're taking pain today. We'll probably take pain against Forest and Bournemouth in the next two. So it is something to think about.
okay,
About whether you need to address it or not. We've been asked to go Spurs v Leicester, mate.
yeah, okay, let's go.
We better do it.
Yeah. So Kelechi just bosses it. I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about this game.
So annoyed that Brodge basically lucked into getting him back in. Just kept him locked up for all this time. And then as soon as he comes out, he plays Tottenham. Yeah, they were better than us. They were on it, and they've got players that work. Definitely, Barnes, Nacho, Maddison is really good.
Yeah,
like you give them chances, they'll do well.
Yeah, and look, they pressed really high and they took advantage of a disjointed Spurs backline, and that didn't help because I think any forward line would look at that back line and be happy to see it when it comes out. I mean, Forster sitting behind Tanganga, Davis and Dyer. And for me, Porro being thrown in amongst that back line almost made it worse. I mean, I would have, and I'm going to give him a stay of execution because it's his first game, but I would have much preferred his first game to have been alongside of Romero so he could actually have some sort of confidence and or not necessarily cover, but just some confidence, some talking, some communication, just some competent defending behind him that could allow him to actually get into the game properly rather than into the mess that we're in. And Perisic is a complete nightmare. Like visually doesn't look up when he passes. His execution at the right end of the pitch is poor. Doesn't even think at the wrong end of the pitch when he's defending. Just swings a boot at it. We saw that a few times. Yeah, not good enough.
But he passes like he's playing five-a-side with his mates. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't matter if it goes. Doesn't matter if you concede 15. Like he passes across his own goal. He just does stuff to give the ball back, and it's like this ain't gonna fly. Like it's so bad the decisions that Perisic makes. So there's no excuse for it.
Yeah.
But now we're stuck because Sessegnon is out for some period of time. We've got Perisic only. We've got games midweek, games on weekends. It's going to need to work something out here. It's going to need to try and find a different way to work because this isn't the way. You can't just keep playing him every week. He might have to just find someone to stick there.
Yeah, I saw people talking about bringing back Reguilon.
If there's a way,
I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it.
If there's anything they could do to terminate that loan or terminate Destiny's loan and just chuck them in, they should be looking to do it because we're really, really struggling. But playing Porro for his first game in front of Japhet Tanganga is just negligence.
Yeah.
That's just outright negligence. Just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. He had a 0 out of 10. Japhet is every week is a minus 10 out of 10. Yeah, we just don't play without Romero. We got nothing in terms of drive without him. He is so important to us. And now we lost Bentancur at the end of the season. So yes, it's actually just.
Was it like target Tottenham? Although Romero's back, I mean, how much of a difference is that going to make? I don't know. But our ability to be able to bring the ball back out from the defence, I don't know. Whether we're going to continually be under high pressure, just from teams intelligently pressing us. Because as you say, like you said talking about three teams that play three at the back. They're playing three at the back to push the ball further upfield and to dominate possession, dominate space up the right end of the pitch. As you say, we start in a 5. We play 3 at the back where we start as a 5, like every single time. Like none of the others start as a 5.
And any other manager in the world would move us to 4-2-3-1 right now.
Yeah.
They would put Ben Davies at left back. They would put Emerson Royal at right back. They'd play Royal and Lenglet in centre defence. So you'd play Højbjerg and Bissouma, and then you'd have three of Kulusevski, Son, Danjuma, Richarlison playing behind Kane. That's how you'd play. We're not playing that, and now we're in a bad place.
Yeah, it's
trouble.
Tottenham. You know, if you're wondering how quickly we can flip flop on Tottenham, I mean, we have the ability to do that to ourselves as a club. Very, very easy. So, you know, we will flip flop like that.
It does get the feeling though, doesn't it, that the season's going to play out. Just play out like Newcastle are there for the taking in terms of that top four.
Yeah.
They are there for it, but I feel like if anyone's taking them, it's Brighton right now.
Yeah.
It's not us. You know, Man United had swanned away in third. Like, nobody's catching them.
Brighton will be there by game week 28.
Oh, yeah, with a double. Yeah. Absolutely. So, yeah, we're bad. Let's go the other side.
Let's go Leicester.
Nacho, Maddison. Can we get him in?
Do we have to wait a couple of weeks, though, with United and Arsenal? Do we have to say that, you know, do we have to wait?
If you were wildcarding today, would you have either of them or both of them in your team?
I might have Maddison.
I think he's fixture proof.
I might have Maddison. I might not have Iheanacho. I don't think it's not that I think that Nacho is probably not fixture. It's not that I don't think he's fixture proof. I'm not sure whether he's Brodge proof. That's the problem.
I mean, it is Brodge that stops us.
Yeah.
So their next 3 games are they have Man United away.
Yeah.
Next, they have Arsenal at home.
Yeah.
In 25. They are then away to Southampton in 26.
Yeah.
And then
home to Chelsea, and then possible blank.
Probable blank. They'd have to lose against Blackburn.
Yeah.
It's a difficult get in, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't want to overcommit if I was wildcarding today. But if I wildcarded,
they can get the points, mate. Like nobody's getting those points right now, are they?
No,
it's so tight. Everyone is so tight in terms of their positions. But you know, Iheanacho's just turned in 27 points in the last 2 game weeks. 27 points, and nobody owns him. Yeah, Maddison's turned in 18 points in that period of time. We've got, Barnes has turned in. Barnes has gone 7-8-6 last 3 games. Like these guys are scoring, and they are scoring.
Yeah, but
they scored 4 this week. They scored 4 against Villa last week. They scored 2 at home to Brighton the week before.
But we know why we haven't picked them. We know why we haven't picked them, and it's doubles. But we know that the doubles are. We'll always go for the doubles. That's just the way it is.
It is a little bit why. If I was really chasing, so we'll have people that listen to this that are 1, 2, 3 million. It is still really tight.
Mm.
None of us are going to go. We all want these guys right now, and we're not going to do it because 1, the fixtures, and 2, the doubles.
Yeah.
But if you really, really, really want to make some pushes, I would not be against going these because you don't need KDB, definitely.
Yeah.
You've probably got him and stuff, but these are so cheap that you could afford. Like, I'd probably just go nuts and go like triple Liverpool, João Felix, and these 2 bad boys.
Yeah. Fair enough. Kane, is he a hold? It's got to be a hold on the fixtures. Look, it's 1 blank. This is what I'll say.
It's one blank. It's 1 blank.
And no, don't. But look, I'll put an and in there because we do play like this very often. We say this like every 5 weeks. We're like, that's it. Tottenham are done. We might as well talk as if we're going to get relegated every 5 weeks. And then what happens next week is that Kane scores, and it's just like, yeah, he's still on it. Brilliant. So I'm not on Kane as a sell.
You can't take him out before, like West Ham at home and Chelsea at home. If the fans, if the club, if Conte, if nobody's working hard for them, but because those are the two away sets away fans that hate us more than anybody else on earth.
Yeah.
If he ain't up for it against West Ham, I can see a lot of people coming off him in 25. Before some ridiculous, like you've got Wolves and Forest. I mean, you've got 26, 27. But I can see it happening.
Wolves and Forest, exactly. I can't do it. You can't do it.
Three home games out of 4 in the next.
Yeah, no, you can't do it. You can't do it.
You can't do it.
No.
Can't do it.
No, let's move on to Leeds versus United. That's been talked about next. And then we'll go to Arsenal after this. So, initially, this graph looked very different. That's the kind of weekend that I've had. So, initially, when I put this graph up for Baker earlier on, it was like, mate, this data compared to Opta is so wrong. Couldn't believe it. I was actually looking at Wednesday's data because it's the same fixture. But thankfully, this is the right data. And
this is the right data.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I need you to fill me in on this one.
Yeah, you some juice, but look, Leeds are good. Leeds are good. They pushed them hard. Should have scored.
It's the big chance of is that the Somerville one in after like 2 minutes over the bar? Yeah, did see that.
As per for the season, Leeds don't finish their dinner, and this is a league where if you do not take advantage, at some point it will hurt. It should have hurt. You know, Bruno got people, ones that kept him, really unlucky because, I mean, it's a good save from Meslier. He gets a boot on the save, but it's a good save. Rashford is Rashford. Like, we did the thing last week, and I said about maybe playing up top, and I think someone in the chat said about what you really want is 60 minutes from the left, then you bring them up front.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened.
It's exactly how it happened. Same on Shaw. Played 60 minutes as centre back. Bang, off he goes.
Push him out to the left, and then you can't track him. You can't keep up with him.
Nah, then I've been playing against him all week, all weekend, and then suddenly off he pops. Great cross, great header. Thanks very much. Done.
Yeah.
And then, that's kind of it, and it is that part of Leeds that just everything feels right, but they're just not scoring. It's a difficult job for who goes in there and does that job because everything they're doing is right. We said it last week. The shape's good. They make the chances. They often get more chances than their opponent, and they don't win games
because they don't score.
No.
They don't score enough.
Yeah,
you can't get to almost 2xG without scoring, and then expect to win a game.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, and we can't really trust when they don't.
Yeah.
So, yeah. On we go.
I don't know where we're going to next. Let's just pick one. Oh, I suppose Arsenal. Let's go to Arsenal. Oh, bloody Ivan Toney, honestly.
He's good, isn't he?
Oh, he's just
he was really good.
And he should have had more, a lot more. Hits the post, has one wide, he has Saliba on strings. Yeah, I mean, look at this again. It's such a typical Brentford XG chart. Look at that. Not very much in there, but 3 big chances. That's it. Just bang, bang, bang. And
that's what they do.
If they don't score from them, you just bet that another one's coming.
We've said it. 3 big chances every single game. Guess what? Look at this chart. 3 very big chances. That is what they do. It's, these are the analytics team. Brentford have been in it, before they were in the Premier League. They're all over it. They will work hard on how do you make sure is that you create the biggest chance.
More so that high XG chances than any other team. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the composure of doing it, like the Norgard bit of putting it back across Toney. So many people would snatch at that and just volley it.
Yeah.
But they're not.
But that's intelligent. Yeah, you just made me think, actually. That's intelligent, isn't it? Just to get it back into the right space to understand that a better chance will be scored if somebody makes contact that side of that part of the box.
That is what they do. They're so efficient in terms of their chance creation. Is they just don't bother with these. I mean, Tony sometimes decides to bang it from 40 yards because he likes it, but in general, like they find ways to fashion stuff, and it doesn't surprise me that Tony, who we've been talking about for a little while about how unconventional his movement is, actually causes so much trouble for a team like Arsenal because they are very conventional in terms of, and structured in the way that they go. And he is a bit chaos in the way that he just finds certain places, and he's so hard to track. He starts moves off, which always pulls people out, and then he pulls off and gets himself into a good position. He's just a really, really good player.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be hard not to have him in 27. And there's a real decision going to be for, do you captain Tony or say a Matoma type player? But
so you got 27. I mean, so you got Tony. You've got. I mean, I know he's not got a double, but we're talking about getting in Iheanacho. Talking about keeping Kane. Obviously, we need to keep Haaland. Who else have we got in there? We've probably got Mitrovic to talk about. Although he probably goes into some bad fixtures in 27, so that's okay.
Oh, Mitrovic, no one's going to own Mitrovic by then, mate. Come 26, he's gone, mate. Everyone is gone. If they don't go earlier.
Leeds, Leicester, Everton for Chelsea, like João Felix. Like, there's just it's so many.
When we get to Chelsea,
can you remember last year when we were sitting here going, who the hell do we put up front?
Now we're in.
Now we're like, right, we need 5 slots for strikers.
Now we're in. There's strikers.
Is there anything to add here on Arsenal? Do you think? I mean, because look, Brentford. To be fair, as opponents come, I mean, Brentford have been pretty tough for Arsenal the last few seasons, but Brentford have lost once in 13, I think, which is nuts. I mean, it's just to give. It's not like it was going to be a walkover for Arsenal here.
I love. I heard one of the old one of our favourites is that they used the World Cup to make a stat longer. I haven't lost since November.
Oh, brilliant! Love
it. Absolutely brilliant. No one played for all of November, December, but they haven't lost since November. It's what it is. Of course, Tony doesn't get a booking this game, having get the bookings, and so we are on that tightrope now.
Is he on 9?
On that tightrope. 8.
Oh, he's on 8. Okay.
He's on 8, needs to get to 10. So potentially.
Oh, for 27.
For 27.
Oh God. Yeah, that's going to be.
If he gets one this weekend, then or next weekend as it is, then it's it starts getting a bit tasty. But yeah, really, really good. The thing on Arsenal, what I would say, there's a little bit of reversion to type in the last few games, which is a large amount of small chances. The issue they had last season was they were lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of small chances. I do feel this is a little bit Nketiah just playing up top. I feel like when you play up top, he then almost the defense is easier set because they're already quite deeper set, and so it's harder to create those big chances. They did get one at the end, obviously, for the Trossard goal, but he managed to go all the way across. Really, really clever ball from Saka to pull that out. But because he doesn't quite drop stick, but I feel like they did try and do a few things. Martinelli started the first half and was very, very centralised. Like, bloody hell, he is number 9. I think they've got to keep working on that. I think they can't just sit there with, yes, we have a number 9 now, we play it. Think about the things that Jesus was doing, which is the drop deep, the moving, the switching, pulling out wide. He would often go out to the left wing. They need Eddie to do a lot more movement.
I mean, I'm looking at that Everton, Bournemouth, Fulham, Palace run, and I'm thinking, that feels like, they're fixtures where, these teams would be happy to sit in against a single defender, a single striker, and not get pulled around too much. And if someone comes off if someone comes off the wing, whether it be Saka or more so Martinelli, it's easier to track when you've got that man over Whereas if Jesus is moving as well, it might be a good time to bed him in, bed him back
Yeah.
in there. So, yeah, okay,
Martinelli, I tell you what will happen a lot this week because not everyone tripled out on Man City. Martinelli to Mahrez is going to be a big move this week. There's going to be a lot do that. And why would you not get rid of him? And honestly, you can't keep him anymore. He won't play. He won't start midweek. Trossard will start midweek.
okay.
It's done.
Who's next? Let's go West Ham Chelsea because there's some interest there. I thought, I sent you a message when Felix obviously scored. That first 25, 30 minutes, like Chelsea blew West Ham away. Like just quality all over the pitch, just didn't have a clue what to do with it. The movement from Enzo linking up the play between the defence who are comfortable, and Felix's movement is fantastic. It really is. Actually, I thought he was playing as number 10 to start with, but he's actually playing in the number 8 role behind Havertz. But he's got that.
He is.
He's really got that goal scorer's mentality. He really doesn't. And Madueke he's a ball of fire, and he just wants to run.
He does want to run.
He just wants to run.
Felix is really so. Yeah, definitely. Felix is really, really interesting me. One of the things that he really interests me for is that, like you say, he's kind of a reverse out of position in that he is a forward that doesn't stay up top.
Yeah.
His baseline was 11. For a striker, a baseline of 10, 11. If he scores,
he's on 35, job done.
Literally every goal he scores in this league will be 9 points. Well, second, not so much if he braces, but his first goal he scores, it basically immediately puts him to a 9-point goal.
7.
Anyway, carry on. Yeah. When I watched it, I watched the offside goal where he chips the keeper and he slots in he hits the post and he slots in the rebound. Then the goal he scored. It looks Matrix like it like the whole everybody else slows down and he just sort of goes in and just does whatever he wants and puts it in, and it just looks so cool. It looks so calm. It looks like, wow, this is a player that is a different league. But my but is he doesn't historically score any goals. Like for Atletico Madrid in the league, this is the previous few seasons. He has not scored double figures in any season for Atletico. Like that immediately is like,
I don't know. Well, yeah, okay.
Well, that's weird. He scored 4 and 14. This one, he scored 8 goals in 14 last season. So 14 90s. It was a lot more games than that in total. But he scored 4 goals, 8 goals, 7 goals, 6 goals. That's his last 4 seasons for Atletico Madrid. Hasn't made 10 goals in a season, in any season.
Well, you were saying, were you saying his appearances there as well?
No, I've got his 90 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. 14 games, 24 games, 31 games, 27 games. Okay. In total, for Atletico, he got 25 goals in 96 games. 1 in 4.
Okay.
That's not a striker you want to buy at 1 in 4.
No.
By normal.
Well.
But sometimes it just works.
How many goals in a season? Let's work this back. How many goals in a season, Tony aside this year, but how many goals in a season would you expect from your £7.5 million, 8.5? What is he? Is he 8.5? £7.5 million. So right, you buy a £7.5 million striker. How many goals do you expect him to score in a season? Let's say you keep him as a season keeper. Raul Jimenez as an example from a good one.
Probably 13, 14.
So 13, 14. So 1 in 3. Like 1 in 4 isn't bad if he's gonna.
It is a fair bit longer, but what I'm saying
you're talking about strikers from teams where they don't score as many goals. So
there's still been top 4 in La Liga every season. Like the Atletico Madrid are not a bad team. I know we have the opinion because what we see of them in the Champions League and so forth, but there's still a very, very good team. But what I look at with my eyes and see is a player that looks like he should be a lot more than that. He definitely looks like that from a finisher. He definitely looks like it. And he is getting that. Bear in mind, he got sent off in that first game. In his 2 games, he's already had 1.5 XG. Now, his best season for Atletico was 7.6 XG in a whole season, and he's had 1.5 in 2 games. Maybe this just works.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just cool as fuck, and because that's what he looks like. And maybe the reason he's 7.5 million is because he never really used to score. And maybe this just works.
Yeah.
And he'll score every game. And if he does score, he's not there. It's just a bit of like, do you go now because it's Southampton? And if Nathan Jones was still in the game, you'd think this is a really, really, really good time. Or do you wait?
Yeah.
It's a good game to go on him.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think who you'd be moving off of. I mean, I know a lot of people are not on Kane, so I've got to try and think of it from a different point of view.
But you look at, let me give you an example. KDB. If you go KDB to Mahrez,
then Nonto becomes Felix quite.
You've got a load of money. Yeah. Mitrovic owners don't need a lot of money.
No,
I've got nothing in the bank. But if you've got $500,000 in the bank, you go Mitrovic to Felix. That's going to be popular.
Yeah.
He looks good. West Ham got some 4.0 defenders, but I think it's a wild card decision again when you get there. I don't see any of us going there.
Yeah. Souček and goal?
Souček and goal.
Yeah, good shout.
Good value.
Good value.
Good value.
Palace versus Brighton.
How do you feel about Matoma?
I'm gutted. I'm a little bit gutted. I'm a little bit gutted. He could have scored in the first half as well, but he's still getting chances. Like he's still getting chances.
They're getting chances.
And like this is like 2.6 XG is away from home in a not necessarily a derby, but a rivalry. Like
they're flying,
it's
mate.
just ridiculous. Like it's just monstrous. Yeah, and as you say, they're flying at the moment. They're just balling under De Zerbi, and big chance for March as well. Relatively big chance, big chance. And they have one offside. Who's the one who scored the goal that was offside?
I don't know. McAllister?
Can't remember. Might have been McAllister.
McAllister had 7 shots on the weekend,
but should have been sent off.
It should have been sent off in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
double in.
Estupiñán
just a. Oh no, it was a Estupiñán, wasn't it? It was a Estupiñán.
Yeah.
It was a Estupiñán who scored the goal.
Oh, the Estupiñán offside goal.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the horrendous. Draw the lines on the wrong place. Horrendous. Yeah. Sorry. The Estupiñán goal was just. I mean, they got so unlucky. In a way, but I don't feel for him. Any owners that got a Estupiñán because they've still got 7 points, which feels like absolute gold this week.
Yeah, it would have been massive.
But they could have easily had 15, 16, 18 pointer. It's going to be hard not to get to him in a double, isn't it? You're going to have to. It's just cheap and it's just good. Estupiñán and Matoma. March was great again. He gets the chances every single game, March. Baseline was good as well. Yeah, they're just a really good team, mate. They're good. I think
they share it about as well, don't they? They share about the chances quite a lot. I mean, Undav had a piece. McAllister obviously had. I mean, I'm just looking at SofaScore now. McAllister had 1.4 XG.
Yeah, exactly. McAllister was great.
Non-penalty.
Matoma was great. Gray was great. Yeah, McAllister on penalties. Matoma and fantastic. Estupiñán's fantastic. Again, you come back to this wild card thing. For it's going to be really, really difficult to have more than one and have Tony by 27. Because in 20 up to 25, you're all going to be pushing towards getting enough players out. And you can't have Brightford or Brentford players in those 25. That's why they've got double in 27.
Yeah.
And then it's like, how many can you actually get to for 27 without his? And that's still playing 28 without it. We got to try and work that chip bit out when it comes. As soon as those FA Cup games have gone in 25, we've all got to start firming our mind up about when we play this game.
Agreed.
Yeah.
We've got a couple more to go through. I think 1, 2, Fulham. Let's go Fulham. How do you feel, Mitrovic owner? Gutted?
Done in.
Done in.
Done in. Yeah. I mean, still the chances, I do think it's a slightly different game with Fulham now. Fulham are a really good team. When Fulham were a worse team, Mitrovic was better because everything just went to Mitrovic.
But the problem is now they're actually playing football properly.
Yeah. But he's not right. He's not right. Every time doesn't look right. Apparently got injured in the warm-up again this time, but then still decided to play. He's not right. But then put 2 defenders on his arse and then Kayla Navas, great save. Otherwise, it's a 9-pointer.
Yeah.
And he'd have taken it and moved on. He's such a hard sell for me because he'll always get chances, but he'll always be annoying. He will always be annoying.
What's he like bookings wise at the moment then as well? Because he must have gone
he's
far
all
away.
right. Thing at the moment, he can't move far enough to hurt people. So
yeah,
he's not
when you've got
like
because Willian's playing well as well at the moment. I mean, he could have had
really well.
He could have had He could have had 2. His first goal was good. Obviously hit the post. And Declan David Reed buzzes around and just creates a nuisance of himself as well. No, doesn't
and
really
Andreas
get so
just
much
takes
involved.
really, 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 really good set pieces.
Yeah,
incredible set pieces. They are fantastic at set pieces, and Andreas is really good at taking them, which means he'll always tick along. They're just a good team. And Forest are actually okay, but once you lose 2 centre-backs in the first 10 minutes,
you're done.
You're done.
I was a little bit gutted for Serge in the second half. That header at the back post, but
yeah.
There we go. Is what it is.
That's about it on that game. Can we talk about Bednarek's own goal now? That's what I've been waiting for, really.
Go on then. We'll go there. We'll go there.
Channy B.
Oh. So
do you think he did it on purpose to give it to Nathan Jones?
Maybe. Mate, I think
Can we start that rumour?
I think he was watching. It's funny because I've got my little one's got a book for story time, and it's called Giraffes Can't Dance. And I was just thinking back to like the conversation we were having on Thursday about giraffes, and it was like a little giraffe whose legs just got out of control and just didn't know what to do with it. And yeah, it was it.
We almost did a couple, didn't we? Castagna against us almost did it, and then that one would have been absolutely legendary.
Yeah,
but Gianni, oh dear.
Yeah, okay, he was unlucky. He was unlucky, but it was still funny.
Absolutely funny.
And to see Jones go after that, I mean, it is what it is.
That was horrible. I mean, I feel like I moan about referees, whatever they do. I moan about refs when they decide that what they're going to do is just let everything run. They're just going to go, let it run, let it run, let it run, let it run. And then what happens is games spill over and then the players get blamed for the red cards or the yellow cards even. But this Jared Gillett, the Australian guy, just decided to go completely the other way, in which he was just like, I'm going to book anyone that tackles anyone immediately. He booked Lamina for nobody is giving
nothing.
Nobody is giving a yellow card for that.
Like that's a yellow card. That's a yellow card in the 70th minute after he's done it about 4 times.
Exactly. It's never a yellow card, that first one. He then I saw him book Semedo straight after that, and that was nothing either. and then that one. Did you? I don't know if you saw today, but Diaz got the yellow card.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
So Diaz got a yellow card this afternoon, and the commentator actually said they showed the replay and went, Diaz was the third person to go to the ref.
Oh,
like that's off. Now the magic number.
It's like the you have to stop at 2. You have Honestly, to stop at 2.
We're now in a place
where whoever turns up third gets booked.
Unbelievable.
To be honest, he just looked straight. He looked straight past Neves and Moutinho. He just looked straight past him. It almost went like just tunnel vision. I'm going to book and send him off.
Unbelievable. It's just like you are trying to be the person that has a big influence in this game. Fair play. They are the most improved team in terms of since Christmas. They are since the restart. Wolves are the most. I mean, they were bottom. People will forget this now. They were bottom at Christmas. I don't expect Wolves to go down now. Yeah, can't target them, and they'll fight hard. He's a good manager. Like Lopetegui is way too good in a way to be a Wolves manager, and he is.
Yeah, he's got them functioning really well. And bringing in Dawson just to solidify that back line while Collins is out is just clever, and really clever. Because I didn't think I watched Match of the Day for this one, and I didn't feel like Southampton were on top at any point, like in any of the highlights. Didn't feel like it at all. So and this relatively shows us as well that from the 25th minute or whenever it was when Lamina was sent off, they didn't really get on top of. A good team would put that to 2xG and would put the game away, right? And Southampton didn't get anywhere near that. And fine, they had a decent chance at the end, but they're chasing at that point. Like you're chasing 11v10. It's like a completely different game. I have no idea why the Southampton own goal is on the Southampton line of the chart here. By the way,
well, it doesn't go anywhere. It just doesn't peak. It just and that's where the goal is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
but no bueno again. That's a bit.
I don't feel so bad about though. Do you now? Because he didn't play. Then he comes on at half time.
And then they score twice.
So I'm like, that's fine. But I don't really care as long as he comes on. Like, if he gets 2 cameos in 25 and gets 2 points,
that's great. Right. 3.9 million. Fine.
Because hitting him to someone is 6 points.
Yeah, true.
So you've got to try and find somebody that's also a £4 million defender that's going to get a clean that week.
Yeah.
To be worth transferring him out. I don't transfer players like that. Because he might get 1 start, he might get 2. Whoever starts probably isn't cleaning against Fulham and Liverpool. If anything, the guy that comes on for 10 minutes at the end each time is probably the person that ends up with the most points. Because if Nori starts both those games, they probably concede 2 in each of them, and he only goes down to 1 anyway. so it probably doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just like of all the things we need to think about in this game,
you need to get bodies on the pitch is the most important.
That's not
thing.
one. Yeah. If he turns up and gets you 2 points, roll on.
Cool. And then finishing up down on the south coast with Newcastle. Draw merchants, as I said last week. Just keep drawing. Just keep drawing. How many draws do you think they can get as many as Arsenal did when they won the league in like 2003 or whatever it was?
Well, the Invincibles.
I didn't want to say that word. I just didn't want to say it. I refused to say the word.
It was a good way of digging it, and mate, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. 11 draws so far this season, but they've only conceded 13 goals. Mental.
Yeah. I mean, they missed Bruno massively. Just massive miss. But I mean, Longstaff is the best midfielder in the world, but they still miss Bruno. How just can't trust him in press conferences. Doesn't mention Wilson not playing at all, and then guess what? Wilson does a Wilson.
And then
I do think if we knew that Wilson wasn't going to play, we would have been a bit more vocal on saying don't sell Miggy.
Miggy.
But it just is much more central when Wilson doesn't play.
Because Isak moves more than he does. Like he moves into wider areas and takes up the space where like Joe Linton and Almiron are, so it just allows him to overlap, underlap, and get into those spaces. And yeah, he's just inside that channel at the right time when that save gets made, and there he is, ready to sweep it up.
There he is, and he plays Liverpool this weekend. Probably score again.
Probably.
I'm pleased for Bournemouth. I've said it a few times, but I really like the signings that they've bought. I thought Solanke did well coming back as well. I wondered if Solanke might not be the number one guy from up top, but to see him come straight back in. But Utara, Jadon Anthony, they have got a lot of pace on the wings. They will cause any team trouble. Utara, I really like him. And Traore playing in the number 10 role is a proper player. He can ball.
I just don't think they're gonna. I just don't think they're gonna score. I just don't think they're gonna score enough goals.
No, they're not FPL interest. They're not FPL.
Just full stop. I just don't think they'll score enough goals to come out the bottom three. I don't think they will. They were unlucky. They were probably unlucky. I mean, Escapades has mentioned it here. The Trippier clearance off the line from Solanke. I mean, Solanke being don't get. I mean, it looks nice when it happens, but if he puts his right foot through that rather than his right toe, then he probably hits the roof of the net. But
you've just got
you win in 2-0 or whatever.
You got to score those, mate. You got to take them out. You got to take it out of the equation.
Yeah.
But I don't mind the team. I think Bournemouth will. I think they'll compete from here on in. Will they get out? I'm not sure. But I think they will compete hard in all their games, and I think especially at home, small ground.
I mean, on who's worse? I mean, like on who's worse? It's a case of like we still haven't seen Everton again this week. So there's a very difficult benchmark.
I don't know. There's that
Forest.
many. Forest at home though are really good. Like if Forest haven't got both their centre backs for a little while, then and guess what? They got City next weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else from? I mean, we know all the Newcastle ones, don't we? Everyone's on Trippier. Double up. You can probably You can probably come off a double up now. You can definitely come off that double now if you haven't already.
I think Botman to Tarko will be really, really popular.
Yeah.
Will people come off Trippier? Nah, I don't want to do that.
I don't think so. He wasn't in amongst the bonus this week.
They conceded.
No, I know, but if you look at him versus Pope, Burn, Cher, he was below all of them, and he wasn't booked. So, which is interesting. Yeah, just to highlight that. Would have been the first time for a while. I think
the first time for.
I think that's about it for these. So
it's early, isn't it? Early in the week, we got Liverpool tomorrow night, which is so weird. I mean, anybody who owns Mo must be like so looking forward to tomorrow night.
2% Mo.
It's just
massive.
Ridiculous.
Just all green. Everything's green.
Imagine getting all of Mo Salah's points when he scores.
We haven't had that in we haven't had that in like 4 years.
He didn't even get that triple. Even in doubles, like when people triple captained him, they still only got 30% of his points.
Yeah.
Whereas they're going to get all of them. Bloody Flapjack's going to be unbearable if he scores tomorrow. Andy,
let's talk as well.
Well, I think Andy, to be fair, Andy needs the points at the moment. Everything's not been going so well for him, but it'll work out. It's tough. It's like Wednesday night. Is it Wednesday night the City game, Arsenal game?
Is it Champions League this week, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
As well?
Yeah. It's still Wednesday night,
Wednesday night.
Wednesday night, Arsenal Man City. But again, in that Arsenal game, it can very, very easily be two players that combine to score that you don't own. Can easily be. Could be a Martinelli corner to Nketiah, either of those two. Could be Saliba, could be Gabriel. Like, don't think just because you got 5 players or so going to that, 6 players going to that last game, can actually happen. See it today with the Mahrez ones.
Mahrez to Rodri. Thanks. Cheers.
All of those things can happen.
200%. 200% Haaland to Gundogan. Perfect.
Yeah, they can do, but that's why we play the game. You are buying tickets and you're hoping that you bought the right tickets. Yeah, don't get down about this week. Like, if anyone's had bad weeks, because you don't need a lot of really good weeks. You just need some.
Yeah.
And we've got doubles. We've got 25 double, we've got 27 double, we've got 28 blank when it's going to be very interesting. Then we've got 29 double, 32 blank, 34 double, 37 double.
Yeah.
You won't get them all, but if we get a couple, you'll be fine.
Agreed. If there's any questions in the chat, then drop them in. We're already past an hour, mate, so I'm going to leave the Krellin ones, maybe see if we can get it set up for midweek. We can maybe do that again.
Yeah.
But if there's any questions in the chat, if you have anything specific, then let us know. Thank you for bearing with us earlier on with the video dropping out. I adjusted something, so I'm hoping it looks a little bit better.
Nobody mentioned it, mate, but I'll say again, anybody who's listened any of this stuff, I didn't think we were getting a pod 2 hours ago. So
yeah,
you've done unbelievably well. So if you like Adam, does the good stuff, got the pod out today and his birthday, best way you can do it is retweet, press the like, and do all the subs.
Thank you very much, mate. Yeah,
all that business,
all that good
stuff.
Thanks very much. So Dal, guys, I went from 27k to 32k. Was that because I benched Shaw? Yes. Is 32k a good rank? Yes. Both yes. Meninda asks, on referees, do we need to look at why the talent pipeline is so bad? Another big report on ref safety at grassroots.
Job, mate, is it?
But yeah, I mean that's exactly it. It's because people are dicks to referees, so no one wants to be a referee. And if no one wants to be a referee, we don't get the best at the top. It's as simple as that. Felix versus Forest. Yeah, I mean, look, if you've got the opportunity to get there, I don't see it as potentially a really, really good option. Or Southampton.
Either Southampton this weekend.
Yeah, Daddy Bots. He's corrected. But either Forest or Southampton. Just doesn't matter.
Just Felix. It looks Felix. Class. Yeah. So, and like I say, I guarantee you we will see loads and loads of people share XGI stats rather than show XG stats for Felix historically, because he's an all-round player. So the easy way to try and share and make someone look better is you go, I'll chuck his assisted as well. Yeah. He's an all-round player. That actually could be really good.
Is Gameweek 27 wildcard 28 free hit a viable strategy? I think at first glance, yes. Very much so.
Yeah, I'm really starting to like the idea. But we'll know so much more once the FA Cup done. But I don't think we'll know a huge amount more, because it still looks almost impossible that some teams will play each other. But who knows?
We'll see. How do you think Bentancur news will affect Kane? I think it will just affect Tottenham quite a lot. I think we'll probably be more direct. Whether that means that Kane comes in to pick up the ball and looks to fire off Son or Perisic. But then, to be fair, he was doing that against Leicester. I mean, it's a big negative impact on Spurs. If you looked at us leading up to the World Cup, we were bad. Yes, Kane was getting the odd one, and you might find we go more set piece Spurs than ever before, because that's going to be the opportunity for us to.
It's Conte's job to work it out, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's be honest. Like it's Conte's job to work this out and work out a way that this team starts to play effectively. Because if he doesn't work it out, he's gone.
Do you know what you're doing for 25? Just trying to get as many players as possible. Do I know in terms of Liverpool? Not yet. Not yet. I think tomorrow we need to see what happens tomorrow. But You
I think
guarantee.
I'm going to get sucked in it.
You'll guarantee that if let's just call it as it is. If Salah scores 2 tomorrow, like he is going to be on every single YouTube thumbnail known to man. Like every single one. He'll be on every tweet.
Yeah.
He'll be on everything.
As part of like, you know,
So it
called
is.
this episode like wildcard. You know, I mentioned it on the pub now. Is because if Liverpool go off tomorrow night, if Trent scores, if Salah scores, people will get real twitchy real quickly. Real twitchy real quickly. You could gamble, couldn't you? You could gamble and go triple Liverpool and then hope that they get a 28 game because it's still possible.
Yeah. Chiefs or Eagles?
Chiefs, we said that last week.
Yeah, we did say that. It wouldn't surprise me either way, but I just enjoy the way Mahomes plays the game. It's just fun and quality. Is it over planning if you keep Botman because he plays in 28? Yes, probably.
Yep.
How bad is Pedro Porro? Asks Tim Sherwood. I had no idea what that reference to. Was it a TalkSport thing or something?
Know, but say the same again. If anybody would look bad in front of Jaffet Tanganga.
Yeah, true. Best sporting bet for you? I mean, I don't make sporting bets anymore.
We don't endorse sporting bets.
Don't do that.
It's bad enough pay. There's enough paying with FPL. You don't need sporting bets too.
No. Felix, Tony, or Darwin between now and game week 28. I mean, Felix gets you all the fixtures. So does Darwin.
Just go Felix now. Yeah, like if you want the punt, Felix is the fun now. And if suddenly Felix doesn't score every game or have like 3/4 of an XG every game, you can kind of start thinking to yourself, maybe he's not prolific.
Yeah.
But the signs are he is. They're just only two games for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Felix is the fun for me right now.
Cool. We'll leave it there because so we've gone going about an hour and 10 minutes now. Before we go, I haven't got a screenshot for it. I haven't got a visual for it, but as always, Above Average FPL is supported by Crypto Block Dan. Go follow him at Crypto Block Dan on Twitter. He is a games analyst for a play to earn crypto company and supports the podcast, supports the channel, and plays FPL. He might have left the chat by now, but he was in a little bit earlier. And if you've got any questions about the blockchain, any of the use cases, any of the technology, just ask him. He's a good lad. And I think
with that note,
we'll just leave.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, mate.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, mate.
Everyone in the chat, if you're still here, say happy birthday, Adam.
Yeah, and leave a like on the way out. Make sure you like. And if you want to see more, subscribe, all that stuff. And if you are watching the Super Bowl tonight, enjoy. And
see you later, mate.
See you later.